Greetings, everyone. This is me again, Zahra Bazak. Just waiting for the mic to connect. It has not prompted me about that. So I guess I have to try again, put it off. Thank you for waiting. Why isn't it connecting? Having some problems. Okay. It's connected. Hope you can hear me clearly and loudly. So I've decided, like I did a long time ago, to do this, share with you my findings on the Quran ayats. And last time there was a bit of disturbance in the end I think on that the Quran is in a messed up. And so showing some ayats from the Quran to prove that. Where shall I start? Yeah, so here in Surah Furqan, like verses 7, 8, 9, right? I'm going to read out. But before that, I want to tell you that it was a very hard decision. At times, I would think about my Shia religion and how it's given me sobriety when we, go to the majlises and all and listen to those heart-wrenching nohas and things, dirges. In the majlis, even the sermons of Karbala, about Karbala, Imam Hussein's sacrifice. So it was a very hard decision at times. Anyways, taking it, but I had to do this, sharing what I'm finding as I look through the Quran ayats and see that's quite different than what we were told, that when all avenues of peace are closed, so on that, and but about the dignity, the feeling, that sobriety, that soberness, that seriousness, adab, manners, and all. I leave that aside for now, right? Because in the Quran ayats I found things against even what the Shia said that Imam Hussein stood for, because his grandfather did not. And I feel the Shias have not properly researched in this matter against Prophet Muhammad. So showing those ayats, taking it step by step. So like that I went. It was easier for me in that way, right? And I've reached this far. So now we have in this Surah Furqan ayat 7, and they say, what is this messenger that eats food and walks in the markets? Why was there not sent down to him an angel so he would be with him a warner? It's in such a hodgepodge that we're not told like who actually are asking this. When we're told in the Quran that this is in detail explained, a perspicuous book, very clear. It's not clear, like you can see Al Imran verse 7. There are unspecific verses which Muslims can use to create discord and all that, which is really not acceptable, because it shouldn't be, because then it does, as the ayah says, creates discord amongst the Muslims. So God should have been more careful in not giving unspecific ayahs, uninterpreted or maybe open to interpretation, things like that. And as we were told that we have someone with the Quran at all times. The Imams are given, Shias know this. So that shouldn't be the case. Even when the Imam is there, he should then be here, present, explaining, like we are explaining the Quran ayats. This is what I feel was missing when I read Al-Kafi also, but that was on the intellect and all. I had few volumes, 1 or 2 I read, like that, especially concentrating on 1 volume on the intellect part. So I felt that something was missing at that time also, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And then at times I would get so frustrated, Then I realized that maybe the imams, I had very bad doubts that I wouldn't share with people because I didn't want to make them unstable in their faith. But my faith was becoming crumbling as I questioned why, were the imams martyred conveniently? Or things like that, something that they would be so, that, oh, Imam Musa Kazim, 14 years. And so what was happening was that, the Imams, as the Quran says, that we are guardians of this Quran. We protect it to preserve it and all this. And the Imams were not able to be protecting the Quran. Yazid, like then before Imam Musa Kazim, at Imam Hussein's time, Yazid won. Although yes, there were martyrs and all this, and then we're told Imam Zain al-Abidin, but Imam Hussein was saying the Quran ayats on the this what you call that stick thing, you call it spear. They put his head on the spear. I still felt that it was this missing. Something's missing still. Like the Imam should have been there, more powerful than Yazid's army, although oppressed. But in this oppression, like explaining the Quran as rising above, I just had to judge it like this. Because it needs to, because there are unspecific ayats, and we cannot afford, Muslims going for the unspecific ayats, because then we'll have discord. And okay, so you say that, both sides should be there. Then there should also be the side which criticizes Prophet Muhammad. You should also allow that. When the Muslims can use unspecific ayats, like the Shias were blamed by the Sunnis or non-Shia Muslims to have used these unspecific ayats, and they were creating like discord, disunity. By relying on their Imam, Ali and all that, the Sunnis could not understand, non-Muslim Shias, that we rely on our Imams and not on ourselves, not on our opinions, on the unspecific ayats that are given in the Quran, which could be taken to create discord between people. Right? And all this. So I felt something definitely is missing here. And so about freedom of thought and critically examining the Quran, the religion, and being able to criticize Prophet Muhammad when you find something wrong and share it with the people, and in a civilized manner. If you can leave behind your feelings for your religion and protection for, you being the muhafiz or the protectors of this religion, when you see a person who is civilized, not deceptive, falsely accusing your prophet or criticizing in a way that goes out of proportion, but backing it up with Quran ayats. And I wouldn't even use the Sunni Umayyad hadiths, Quraysh, those disbelievers, which were for Prophet Muhammad. They're ridiculous. You can even see now, recently I went through apostate prophets. Oh, sorry, no. Aladdin, apostate Aladdin's beautiful. It's so, and I was like in, pain, tossing and turning. Because see, so ridiculous against Hazrat Musa, what is written, the rock, and how it's like so exquisite, it's perfect, his video on Hazrat Musa. We have a hadith. Now, they have a Sunnis, they and we, sorry, right? Shias don't believe in that hadith. Like, what ridiculousness. So I realized that probably because what the Shias may not have realized, why this ridiculousness against Hazrat Musa, that he got naked and the rock took the clothes away. Right? My father would say, like, what ridiculous thing is this? And I would say too, when I read that there was this hadith in the non-Islamic sources, then I would say Shias. I think Prophet Muhammad was quite angry at the Jews, and he made up this hadith, maybe to even put Hazrat Musa down and himself up. You see, these people who do this in competition. So he wanted to really mess up the Jews. So recently, watching the video on Apostate Aladdin's channel about this Hazrat Musa and the rock and all that, then I was like thinking, oh, out of Shia thought also, that, we were always like, the Umayyads were after the Hashemites, and Prophet Muhammad, they were staunch enemies of Prophet Muhammad, and Imam Ali, both say Imam Ali, because Imam Ali killed the best of men. They wanted to fight the polytheists who wanted to fight. So in defense, Imam Ali killed the best of their warriors and all that. That's why they have this bad feeling for Imam Ali. But getting out of all that, I realized Surah Hashar ayats and some ayats against Jews and polytheists because they got together, you see, and said that we make a treaty that anyone comes against us, we will help each other against them, our enemies. So your enemies are my enemies. If they come to attack you, then we will join together. Polytheists and Jews had this treaty. I read it somewhere in the footnote or in the as I went through the Quran ayats. I can't remember exactly where. I'm sorry about that. So this was there, right? Maybe Ale Imran verses, or maybe about the hypocrites. Where the believers were told in the Quran ayats. That reminds me of that ayat too, that the believers were divided about the hypocrites, what should happen to them, like that, how to deal with them, or to still be friends with them, and not to kill them, not to punish them, like that. So like that, there were these believers also, right? So you can see that they were divided, the Muslims of that time also. But then the ayat came and told them what they should be doing unless they take refuge in those you have a treaty with. The Muslims have a treaty with. Another thing is that I feel a change is coming. It's like I said so much against my UAE, and I really now feel that I'm at home here with my father's country, I used to call it. Now I may call it my country. You see, these are great people where, okay, on one hand, like I found a video against my president and UAE president. And look, they haven't taken any action. On the video, on the live stream, I shouted at this, you were like that, you Arabs were like this. So their job, this, that, right? And then I even shared a video on Facebook. So if they wanted, they could have taken action, at least not, if not against me, putting me in jail, at least against that video and what I've posted, the video I found on YouTube. But they did not take any action. It means that if I was in Pakistan, I don't want to put Pakistan down, but what would have happened, right? So it's very, very sad. Pakistan still doesn't have that right given to the Christians, minorities, let alone. I mean, we, the apostates, would, or so mostly the Pakistanis come on Facebook, Asian people criticizing, maybe because I'm from Pakistan, so my profile is there for the Pakistanis to see. Maybe because of that, if I was in Egypt or somewhere, then the Egyptians would come. Things like that. Mostly, my profile would be exposed on the, to the Egyptian people, if I was from Egypt, like that. So maybe it's due to that. I'm not sure. So anyhow, but it's still, we have Dr. David Wood complaining that Pakistani government has objected to his live streams or his videos against Prophet Muhammad. And then Twitter recently said he is in no, like it doesn't give him any, or anything to say against Prophet Muhammad, but he gave a reason why he had to come out like this against Prophet Muhammad. So, very good reason on Twitter, his tweet I saw recently. I don't know how old it is, but I saw it recently on Twitter. And then others also, ex-Muslim Ahmad, and who? And Ghalib Kamal, his videos, his channel is banned by the Pakistanis. Again, he was going to premiere and say something. I think I've missed, or maybe no, it's coming after 6 days, or I have to see that. Pakistan against his channel, and Pakistan is doing a lot of this thing, I've heard from others also on YouTubers, and especially. But I think I see a great change in the United Arab Emirates as I criticize them and heavily, and there's no care here, and so my video was kind of, no, that was a different live stream I did. So I see a change coming, and that makes me so happy. You see, otherwise I would have been depressed to death, being, feeling like it's killing me, it's killing me. You see, I have to be true to myself. There were hard decisions I had to make. It was very hard for me to go against my Shia religion. There's things like, like I mentioned before in this live stream. So, but I thought taking it step by step and seeing where we go. But in the step by step, I say, leave Islam, every time I come across such. You see, it's not accurate here. I should have properly defined who these people are. We could take it as polytheists, and then we wonder, but how can it be polytheists? Because Surah Zumar Ayat 3, they take these awliyas and they worship them, they say, in order to reach a nearness to Allah. So they can't be polytheists. So who are these people? Oh, are they the ones? Surah Furqan Ayat 7 and 8. Are they the ones who, what I heard from an a Muslim friend of mine, that only we go directly to Allah. We Muslims and you Shias don't. In an indirect manner, she was telling me, we only call on Allah and all this. So you see, when I've gone through Surah Takwir, I realized that even the polytheists don't do this. Even the Muslims are not, they shouldn't be doing this, directly going to Allah. Where in Surah Sajda, Ayat 13, we're told that no, Allah hasn't guided the souls of every man. So what do you have to do? I had to comb it out and go to that ayat where? In Surah, which one was it? Surah Anam, ayat 80 to 87. You see? So showing the Muslims that it's inclining more towards Shia Islam, Prophet Muhammad and then Ali, Imamat, Hazrat Ibrahim's ayats, if you in the Quran, if you see, right? This is Hazrat Ibrahim and all. Which one? He says that I am going that God would guide me. I know God. Are you disputing to me about Allah and all this, right? So that was Hazrat Ibrahim's ayat. And then I came to this Surah Anam ayat 88. So Muslims, you are not these, from this Surah Furqan ayats, I realized that you are not the ones who are supposed to go directly to God. Guidelines have been given to you in the Quran ayats, and that you just leave Prophet Muhammad on the side now, not use him as a wasila. And namaz, they say that namaz has been given to us, and zakat and fasting and hajj, and these are these pillars of Islam we must follow, and not call on any other than Allah. That's not practical in this life. Sometimes you see Allah does help you directly if you pray with His names only, not even call on any other than Allah. Like wasila, not using means of approach, other means of approach to God other than namaz, the 5 pillars of Islam, you're told. So you can go directly to God in that sense. But then I was wondering, how beautiful is it? How great is it in London, contemplation, when I was doing my law there, to go to Allah through Prophet Muhammad, because there are hadiths where it's, the Quran ayat say that he's closer to you than your own selves. Own nafs, meaning, is it? Yourself or your nafs, then I was in this doldrum, in this confusion, like pendulum, Sunni, Shia. There are these Muslims who say go directly to God, not calling on any other than God. And shirk would come in. So if you call a doctor, they are very modern, from Canada, Muslim friend I had. She was saying this, but it is not practical. You have to call on the doctor at times. Our alims have gone to London. I remember who had a heart attack or problem. They went to London, and we're told we can, with the Quran, like there's healing in the Quran, do seek medical help, even from Westerners and your own doctors in your country, like Muslim doctors. All. So it was quite confusing until I have tried to comb it out and tell the Muslims that no, it doesn't seem like even like these could be you, those Muslims who want to go directly to God. Yes, why? What is this messenger that eats food and walks in the markets? Then why even have a messenger? Why not have? So these are the people who are saying that God has given them the guidance in their soul. So a master comes, gives you guidelines, and leads you not only through namaz and outward methods, but inwardly you go into your soul, in your inside, and connect with God. And check out these messengers then. A true messenger, master I may call him, not even a messenger, a master would point inside of you, right? Connection inside of you with God. Not only those methods applied for practicing to get nearness to Allah. And then you don't have to call on any other than Allah. You see the confusion between in the Muslim world between Muslims is this. So this is what I've been trying to comb out and find out and share with you people, step by step. I don't know what will be the result. I don't guarantee you that you know. It's sometimes it's really messy, right? Uh, you know, sometimes it's terrible. It's very messy. I get very angry, agitated, things like that. Against some Muslims also. So there's a song, Michael Bolton's song. I really believe in that. How can we be lovers when we can't be friends? And like, how can we not make a mess of things, right? So you've put, I mean, it's like you have to put your hand in the dust, in kachra, something garbage, to find, or something which I have here in it. It's hurting. It's quite, it's become a mess. And I can see this. See, Surah Furqan ayat starts with 3. Yet have they taken besides him gods that create nothing, but are themselves created, that have no control of hurt or good to themselves. But you can see, if you, those Muslims who take Prophet Muhammad as wasila, that also, there is good from him. He's the mercy of Allah, we're told in the Quran. Nor can they, of course, so nor can they control death, nor life, nor resurrection. Of course, there's good through him, going to Allah, that one Allah, however we may go, get nearness to Allah, I don't know. But, you know, I mean, I haven't felt that, experienced that near connection with Allah as yet. So this, right? So you see, maybe I will not be able to explain it. I'm trying to again and again come here as I, so that as I keep coming. In other words, trying to explain because I have some impediments. I just had a headache. Hope you bear with me. Waking up with headaches, I have all this. I don't want your sympathies. I want an understanding heart. This kindness is a virtue. Kind, understanding hearts. One should offer that to every person one comes across. Even Moses, Allah told Musa, that Musa to go to Pharaoh, but at first speak kind words to him and all this. Then Allah will bring the azab, punishment, wrath of his. If Pharaoh doesn't heed the warning of Allah through Prophet Muhammad. Now, do you see this? Only through Prophet Moses. Sorry. So, when Moses is on earth, and that's why the Shia say that it has to continue the succession of Prophet Muhammad until this day. The Imam is present. Let's say my soul says that I'm reincarnated, or I find someone to hypnotize me, or I've self-hypnotized myself, self-hypnotized, and I find out that, oh, I have this feeling, and I get signs, and, you know, I heard a scream, and then someone tells me that I felt like screaming, I feel like screaming, and I'd hypnotize myself that, okay, let's go to the time where I'm dying. And then someone tells me that, I find someone later on who tells me that while my, someone, her beloved was dying, she was screaming inside, she had a nervous breakdown. That means screaming, right? Could be nervous breakdown is going silent, or I don't know what, in a shock. but inside maybe screaming. And let's say she told me that I was screaming, but no one told me that when my mother died. Now I cannot rely, if as a Shia, I would look at Surah Taha ayats, Hazrat Musa and Samiri cast. My soul inclined to me, even when the messenger Jibrail's horse's footprints have come, and that dust where he went on, put his foot on, worked miracle. He put it, Samiri cast took it and put it on the calf, and calf started to come alive. Right? So then I had this problem. What shall I do? I can't trust in my soul until when Musa came back. So we say our Imam is ghaib in occultation. He's not present like the Ismaili Imam, Shia Imam, Ismaili. Ours is in occultation. So I have to wait for my Imam. Or I get up with a dream on reincarnation and call on my Imam, say, Imam, please can you, there's a way of doing this respectfully, call on him and ask him the interpretation of this dream of reincarnation. What answer would I get? I cannot rely on my soul anymore. Have you seen, I keep referring to Samiri cast, my soul inclined to me, Surah Taha. And there's mind power, and we can create miracles, magic here. But when I tell that I saw a miracle, someone who was a Muslim, a Shia, not a Shia, a Sunni lady. Now she's explaining to me that don't say that it's a miracle, only Nabis, only prophets get miracles. And she wears a sari, and she's lied to us. Okay? And later on, in year 2000, she's explaining to me that miracles are only done by Prophet Muhammad. So it's like, even this is blasphemous. Yes, and the Shia side is that when you say miracle, you don't say miracle. Even Imams, it's like karamat. You have to say karamat because, yes, miracle is only given to prophets, nabis, and these messengers. So refrain from saying that I had a miracle, that I got a miracle. And this is a prayer answered. You can't say it's a miracle. This also. So for me, let's say 9 years, I didn't get my prayer answered, but some different thing happened to me and it's like a miracle come true. But my prayer was not answered, what I wanted, but a different thing was given to me. And what happened is, the hell I was in, it took me out of that hell. So I would say, oh my God, I got a miracle from God. That was a miraculous moment. This is a miraculous year, 1999, 1990, end of 1990. Baby Maryam gave me a miracle. God, you are a miraculous God. So now these Muslims who don't hear us properly would say, no, you're saying that, oh, my prayer got answered. This is your prayer answered, not a miracle from God. Miracles can only be given to Nabis, prophets. So I was telling a Shia Sayyid, and I think he was the one who corrected me that, yes, the Sunni Muslim lady who was saying this to you, elderly lady, was right. We cannot call them miracles, although we kind of say Mahajjaza hua. Mahajjaza is a miracle. Like water was coming out in Bara Imam Barka Karadar. Or many years back when Allama Rashid Turabi was reciting majlises there. So this is a mu'jiza. Mu'jiza. But even this, the Sayyid, I think Shia Sayyid corrected me and said we should say that it is a karamat. Karamat would be less than a miracle. Miracles are only given to prophets. I'm not sure of that. You can correct me. And I haven't read on that, but I think that's what he was trying to say, that yes, the Sunni lady, Sunni Muslim lady was correct on this. If it comes from an imam, maybe we can call it a miracle, mu'jiza, but something like a prayer's answered, or God has given you something. You talk to the flowers and they start, the petals start going up and down without the wind being there, or air, to do this. This is not a miracle. You can't call it a miracle, mu'jiza. You call it a karamat. Not that I was asking the imams. I was just talking to them and the petals. I wasn't even manipulating them with the mind. That, oh, I hope I get an answer from them. I wasn't even expecting an answer. I was just saying, I'm taking you to my beloved principal's place. Hope you are happy with it, because when I was separated, like I felt this world, this existence. I wish I didn't exist. So, zabardasti, like forcefully you sever ties. And you know what happens during that time with me? What happened was that I felt like I was forced to live a life I didn't want to live. And then my whole existence was cursed at that time. And I wanted to die. So that's why, like, kisi ko zabardasti, don't force people. Don't, zabardasti hum log yahan hai, fed up of the world. Fed up. Forcefully we're here. So that's why I asked these flowers, some of them, which I was holding, that daisies in a pot. I had gone to a nursery and bought a gift for my principal, taking them to her house. So one of the pots was on my lap in the car. And the car, there wasn't any wind because the glasses were up or something like this. And it was winter. So anyways, the petals went up. So we would call that a phenomenon. A phenomenon. One, singular. It's not a miracle, it's a phenomenon. Okay? Like that. So, okay, back again. Surah Furqan ayat 3. This is before these 7, 8, 9 ayats. So what does this third ayat in Surah Furqan make you think? That it's these people, nor can they control these who take besides him gods, polytheists. Now how can the polytheists put forth a question like this? In the 7th ayat we are given, Surah Furqan, and they say, what is this messenger that eats food and walks in the markets? For example, you see these Hindus giving the fruit and everything to, what do you call that when you offering to the gods. And we say, oh my God, the God doesn't need any food and all this. Fruits. So you see the confusion here. These Quran ayats given. I'm just pointing out the confusion. It's not clear, right? It would make you think. Wouldn't you think after reading Surah Furqan ayat 3 that this is coming from these polytheists who take gods besides Allah, the Creator? And how can it be like this, that they are saying Surah Furqan ayat 7? And they say, what is this messenger that eats food and walks in the markets? Why was there not sent down to him an angel, or even an angel with him, so he would be with him a warner? Now, for this part, instead of, look how they strike for comparisons, Surah Furqan ayat 9, instead of saying this, take each part of the ayat and answer properly. But God was not answering properly. Now take this part of the ayat where they say, why was there not sent down to him an angel? Maybe they couldn't see it. Maybe God should have said, well, you can't see the angels sent down to him, so he would be with him a warner. So this part crossed out because they can't, the polytheists can't say that who take besides Allah gods, besides the creator Allah gods, as we're told. Look what kind of comparisons they strike. Surah Furqan ayat 9. Then I have to take you about this part. Why was there not sent down to him an angel, so he would be with him a warner? I'll have to take you to Surah Jinn ayat. So previously in my live stream where I've missed out these points and shown you in this way properly, you see the last part of Surah Jinn says, so Allah could have said, no, we have sent down other messengers to make sure that he gives the message properly. Allah doesn't say that in Surah Furqan. Jumps to, like, look how they strike comparisons. Surah Furqan ayat 9, is it? Answering them in that way. So going to that ayat where it said, and that he may know that they have truly delivered messages of the Lord. Surah Jinn ayat 27, except a messenger whom he has chosen, and then he makes a band of watchers march before him and behind him. Could these be, who are these bands of watchers? Angels, right? Guards, angels. You see? Wait a minute, I'm not jumping the gun here. Very excited. Angels, that is, when Allah sends down the knowledge of the unseen realities to the messenger by revelation, he appoints angels on every side to safeguard it so that the knowledge reaches the messenger in a safe condition, free from any kind of adulteration. Allah has to do this too, and he says it in Surah. So this is what it means when he says in Surah Jinn, ayat 27, he sends before him, i.e. each messenger, and behind him observers. Look at it. Surah Jinn, ayat 27. And then please read the, sorry, it's not Al-Isra. This is the problem it doesn't, website doesn't load properly. Jinn, Surah Jinn, ayat 27. Please have a look at this. So now, leave it open like this. Go back to, so where I haven't properly explained it like this part now. Surah Furqan ayat 7. Why was there not sent down to him an angel, so he would be with him a warner? God should have stopped here and said, well, in Surah Jinn, ayat 27, we have sent down angels. It's only that you can't see those angels. Someone sitting with you with the Quran to explain to you like this. This is a big thing, Quran ayats, we were told. They have 70 or 7 dimensions to it. I thought there were 70 dimensions. Which Imam Ali would expound, or through our practices, when we reach that level of high level of spirituality, then this maybe 7 dimensions we could reach. Or 11. I was told Shehbaz Qalandar reached 10, 11th dimension. Saint. So you see, instead of here, it's just such a hodgepodge put together, these two questions. Polytheists. Yes, because third ayat, going back to Surah Furqan, third ayat, right? Besides them, gods. You would think what kind of, but they are not these kind of people, these polytheists mentioned here in Surah Furqan ayat 3. They are those Muslims. You can see today we have those Muslims who say go directly to God. Use these methods of namaz and all this, but not wasila as Prophet Muhammad, some of them. Just go directly to God. Don't even call on Prophet Muhammad. Just say Durood Sharif. Very like face value they take their religion. Yes, Durood Sharif on Rasulullah Ibrahim, Ali Ibrahim, and Prophet Muhammad and his family, Sahaba, and all this. But, inside you have to have a connection. You call on Allah only. So things like that. It's very... Some Muslims do say this. I've heard it with my own ears. This friend of mine I know, ex-friend, Muslim, non-Shia. Now the other part, why was there not sent down to him an angel? So he would... Surah Jinn ayat, I showed you 27. Or why not 8? Or why is not a treasure presented to him from heaven? Or does he not have a garden from which he eats? And the wrongdoers say, you follow not, but a man affected by magic. Sir, magic. Or jinn, I don't know. Anyhow, look how they strike for you comparison. I'm not going to the translation, Quran, word by word, Arabic. Just guessing, jinn or a magic affected seer. Look how they strike for you comparisons. Please see how deceived you have been. Now this makes me angry, you see. So as I say to you, be civil and come here. So we may find this out as civilized people, level-headed. Like we've had a lot in London, Britishers, very level-headed, sensible, and very honest people. But you see, I also get emotional because it was my religion, and now when I see, so I am not consistent, you may say that, like the level-headed Britishers, for example. But at one time, it makes me like, look how you have. So I get angry. This doesn't mean you come here and you also start to become from the onset like, tell me things, like to provoke my, and please, I've explained so much now, and you come here now and you say, no, your reason is all wrong. How does it make me feel? As it is, it has been very difficult. So even as a Shia, if I looked at the Quran ayats like this, every time I get new ayats, and I put myself in the Shia position, as I was when I was a Shia, what would I do? It's not that I'm eager to leave this religion and put the blame on Prophet Muhammad and Allah and all this. No. I put myself back to my Shia standing. where I was, my Shia position. And I see, what would I say now after looking at it in this way, the way I explained it earlier and now, until now. This Surah Furqan ayat 7, showing you, please complete the sentence, you are intelligent enough, that this part and this part also does not go with Surah Furqan ayat, these groups of people, yet they have taken beside them gods that can create nothing. Look at the similitude God has been. And where do I go from here? They create nothing. They neither have any control of hurt or good to themselves. This is not right. What else? Why isn't it right? Because you may think that these gods are idols who have no control. But they are symbols. Idols are symbols of some god, avatar that existed before. Consider that too. So consider that losing my religion song, losing my religion. Okay, so like this. I apologize if I have been rude here or angry. So I expected my imams to explain this Quran ayats like this, calling on my imam, Akhri imam, my last imam, where I'm now explaining and showing you where my doubts and where I don't agree to these ayats. You see, it's in a mess. And why did Allah put it in this way? And why is He saying here in Surah Furqan ayat 9, look how they strike for you comparisons, but they have strayed, so they cannot find a way. They cannot even find a way. And so look at the way they have questioned you. Well, is the answer of Allah quite fulfilling, satisfactory? Shias. About this, 7th, Surah Furqan ayat 8th, Surah Furqan ayat, I haven't in detail. So this I wanted to explain in detail and go to Surah Jinn ayat, which I didn't, maybe just mentioned it perhaps, but didn't go to Surah Jinn ayat showing you 27th ayat of it. Allah should have said, no, I have sent warners. I have sent angels with him to protect this message, to see that the message is conveyed properly and protected from outside influences, worldly influences, in its purity, in its actuality, that the message has been conveyed to you people clearly also, without a prophet's desire or outside desires. Prophet himself doesn't have any desire other than to speak what Allah gives him to speak about. Yet, messengers are sent with him. Do you see this? I don't know how to say it properly. So, this much now, for now, I think it is enough. And if you would bear with me, as civilized people, when I also get emotional because I get hurt, so hope you understand that too. But when I say be civilized, I know feelings will come. I can understand your hurt, your pain, ego coming also, because security, this religion has given us great security. I read Jiddu Krishnamurti and I found that out, that yes, it's a very great emotional security. The ego thrives on that emotional security. When Dr. Deepak Chopra told us, when I read his book, I had to read other books also to find out, Seeker of Truth, as a Shia even, to see from all sides my religion comes up to those things where what Dr. Deepak Chopra says, be uncertain in the 7 spiritual laws of success. And we say, no, yaqeen, certainty. Allama Rashid Tarabi, if you are an Urdu and if you speaker and, understand Urdu, then yaqeen, Allama Rashid Tarabi's, how, the doubts are a disease of the soul and of the mind and of this. So the 7 spiritual, we don't want to be in this 7 spiritual laws of success. We don't want to be in this doubt, right? But here is Dr. Deepak Chopra telling us that it's okay. Uncertainty. 7 spiritual laws of success. So if you have been spiritual and religious, or only spiritual even, but I have been religious in the sense that I loved my religion, but not that religious. So here we go on uncertainty. If I could find a thing a little bit on uncertainty, remaining uncertain at times, it is okay, and that this really helped me when I've been confused in my religion. When I read Dr. Deepak Chopra's book in London, I bought it. You see, sometimes I don't, sometimes, being certain and why, this was like totally against my religion, being uncertain. I don't have to go telling my someone to please take cards out, or take istikhara out. What shall I do today? Shall I go to the principal or not? Shall I call her or not? Being uncertain. I'm not getting a quote on uncertainty here. I wish I could show you. Anyways, you see, you can, sorry, I just recommend you on uncertainty, being uncertain at times. It's not a disease. Doubt. Of doubt. So there's a Quran ayat which says certainty is definitely great, right? Believers have that certainty. When you reach a certain stage, and at the first stage, believers are full of certainty. Then there are stages of higher spiritual dimensions from you get after having practiced a lot of this in your du'as and what you call that, disciplining yourself, prayers, nafals, and all this. Indeed, sincere devotion is the only other surah. Where else shall? So I'm going to think about this. Where else shall I go? I wasn't even prepared. I just came here, and it's come out like this. So if I've missed anything, made mistakes, please overlook. But I don't think I would be misguiding you. Reached a certain level we have here as an ex-Muslim, that I can now say that this definitely is not a Quran in properly explained in detail, protected, properly conveyed to you. You see how you've been confused, and you don't think you've been confused. That's why we have Sunnis and Shias. We have other schools of thought, divisions. In Sunnis, we have, they call them schools of thought. and in Shias also, subdivisions. Ismaili Shias, Bohra Shias. So, nor can they control death, nor life, nor resurrection. Surah Furqan, ayat 3, this part. Hope this sinks into you. What else am I missing? So I'm here. It's helpful for me to therapeutic. Yeah. Thank you for this chance that I can share. I just cannot now see. Even when I talk about my conditioned case, I go to it steers to my religion. How I cannot explain, but examples are there in my live streams. When I come for my case and condition, how it steers to my religion. So thank you for this chance, right? It would go to my religion, and then I questioned and how I came here to being an ex-Muslim. So it has been painful, hard. Thank you for giving me a chance, and God bless you all. I will now rest my case for a while here on this Surah Furqan ayat 7, and then I will continue later. Thank you so much.